welcome to the Three Technoteers. I'm Steven, and I'm joined by Chilton and Tony. And pretty crazy news over in Ukraine. Apparently, a couple years ago, they had some fully AI powered drones, no human in the loop or anything, go out into the battlefield and just kill people. They set them into Terminator mode, of course, and literally just sent them out, and they just killed anything that they came across. They don't actually exactly know what they killed. They had, because they don't get the video feeds or anything from these drones. These drones are not connected to anything, and so they had to go with other drones, with video drones, later to like see the aftermath, just to see what they even killed. Like, that's so bad. Come on. Like, that's, don't do that. Like, if you're, man, like,
Yeah, that changes a lot of things because you don't know. You could be shooting your own people. You could be, yeah, and then what if one of these drones? I mean, we've all seen all the sci-fi movies and all the stuff, but the tropes, but it's real. What if one of the drones batteries died and some kid picks it up 5 years from now and charges it just to see what's going on, and oh
yeah,
my God, that's a live
yeah.
a
And
live explosive on it.
it's still
Hmm.
in Terminator mode because that was
Hmm.
what it was last in before the battery died. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, no, it's that's a horrible idea. Apparently they only tested it this one time a couple years ago, so they say. But man, that's just like, that is the worst possible like route you could take with
Yeah,
creating any kind of like weaponized drone.
yeah. So speaking of that, so there's a company called Skydio that is actually trying to team up with like local police departments and to run their own drones and their own programs, and it's all autonomously done. Where let's say they're in a police pursuit, the people, are not in control of these drones. And so they actually take them and they autonomously go in and they'll stop vehicles that they say that are, that they target, and that they would come in and stop vehicles. And actually, I want to say there's a few states that actually just put in law that they did not want this to come to them. But I think there is actually a couple of states that actually are allowing it
That's
and
wild.
trying to push forward with this. Skydio is this company that is behind a lot of it. They have a lot of other stuff too, but a lot of it has to do with AI.
And God forbid you're driving the same color and same kind of car as like some guy that's going
Yeah.
GTA all over the neighborhood, and you just
The
happen to be a
only
block over.
right. Well, the only thing that I could think of that would help identify that would be like, everybody remembers like in Too Fast, Too Furious when they are in that chopper in the chase scene and they launch that device that impales the fender and it
Yeah.
shuts the vehicle down. Instead, it would, magnetize or, something where could be like, hey, this is that chip that lands on this vehicle and then that's where it goes. But even then, like how do you disable a vehicle with a drone without explosives? You know, I mean, they have other means of, stopping vehicles like they have what they use like a tow strap that's strapped to a truck vehicle or a police vehicle, and they
Yeah, where it shoots out and
basically
grabs
wrap
the
the
wheel
axle,
or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
grabs the axle and stops them and they're able to drag it back.
Yeah.
But
That's actually a really cool design. Like, that's
I agree.
so
That
much
feels
better
like
than pit maneuvers.
pit
Like,
maneuvering. Yes. Welcome to
just
Georgia.
yeah.
Welcome to Georgia, please. You know. Yeah, I feel like a lot of that AI stuff is just kind of getting wild. And the other thing is like with AI in military aspect in general, I feel like that might just I'd have to see it in action to be like, oh, okay, so that's how it works, rather than like, hey, anything that moves, go ahead and wipe
Yeah,
it out
see,
within this
and
vicinity.
apparently that's what it is basically like anything that moves, it kills. Like, it's like actual Terminator mode,
Well,
like
like,
it's,
think about it like as a society right now where, where Ukraine isn't necessarily a third world country, but you have your borders and it's like, don't go that way. But what if somebody happens to just be going that way? Innocent bystander kind of deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't live there. So, but what if they have family that are across the borders? That's possible. So if somebody's actually going over there and they get cross-winded with a drone that's like, oh, look, a moving object.
At this point, I'm
I
Oh
don't
starting
yeah.
to
know.
wonder if the Ukraine war is just like they're extending it out just so all these weapons companies can like test all these new
You
style of
need a
weapons.
test
Because like,
field, right?
yeah, I mean, dude, there's never been a war that's been fought like this. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
they need
Yeah.
somewhere to test all these new kinds of weapons. Best way to do that is extend this war out as long as possible. Like it's, I
Well, I
mean,
seen too,
you
like,
know that's happening. You know
oh
that's
yeah.
happening.
Well, and then what they're doing now too is throwing out all the fibers out there and having them go around and throwing the fiber optics out,
Hmm.
and they're going everywhere. And my biggest concern necessarily was more of like that stuff doesn't just decompose.
Yeah,
So like where's it gonna go? What's it gonna do? So like
it's gonna
I
become
saw
a
this
bird
picture a
nest.
couple days ago. Birds are building nests and stuff
Yeah.
out of it and adapting to it. It's like crazy.
It's also great, like all the roads and stuff. They're covered by the netting now too, because
Yeah.
like they have to be to stop the drones from
Yeah.
stopping cars and stuff. And it's like,
Well, that and seeing some of these videos too, you think some of these guys would take a little more target practice on like clay shooting because I've seen some
Mhm.
videos, some really close calls on like them shooting it with a shotgun, trying to shoot these drones out of there. Now, I'm not saying that also on top of that these drones aren't just bobbing and weaving, but at the same time, it's like, man, some of them were really close calls and it just kind of
yeah.
takes your breath away a little. Like that was a bit too much, too
I mean,
close
I
for
think
me.
a
So,
lot of those drones are they're like FPV style racing style drones, so they're
right.
quick,
They're pretty
and
quick.
they
Oh
can
yeah.
like fly any kind of like way they want. There's not like they're just kind of like they're
Yeah. Well, I did see too. So there's a big jump on the Steam Deck for pricing, and they completely quit producing the LCD models, but they've almost doubled in price or an additional like $250. But what I saw is that the Ukraine military is actually taking them and using them as remote handhelds,
hmm,
and they are putting oscillating motors on uh, gunners, and they're able to FPV gunners and multiple spots off of one handheld. They just literally switch like as a video game
yeah,
would, and
yeah.
you'd be like, I'm in point A, point B, point C, and they're able to
That's
just switch and just do 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 all there, just like, and they're just sitting in a car.
man.
You know, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, that dude, it's wild. Like how, like half of Ukraine's technology that they're using in the war is like actual military stuff that like the U.S. and other countries are giving them. And then the other half is stuff from what is it, Brookstone or whatever, like
Yeah,
that they've just
yeah,
modified. Like
yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm.
So
Go
can I
ahead, go ahead,
share my
Jay.
screen? Yeah, I was going to say I want to show you something real quick. Um, if that works, well, you guys keep trying to. How do I do that? Here we go. Sure, sure. There we go. Oop. Right. So I got a friend who has a Wise camera that has detected several goats in his backyard.
Oh,
Goat,
yeah. Goat.
goat.
76% goat.
So, yeah. And this is a good one here. Dog.
Yeah. It looks like
uh,
they're literally just using the baseline, like YOLO and Coco models and stuff. Like they just downloaded
That
it
could
from
be.
GitHub real quick, and
That sure could be. It's pretty funny. Yeah, so I would be worried about any autonomous vehicle hunting a person. I would wonder,
yeah,
does it know what difference between a person and a dog? Does it know the difference between a person and a um well, I'm not trying to give any military advice here or anything, but I'm just saying that scarecrows exist.
Yeah.
would it
Yeah.
know the difference, right?
Yeah.
And there was a whole documentary that just came out about guys in World War II. I should have sent you guys a link to this earlier so we could talk about it. It's kind of cool. It's a bunch of guys in World War II that are all artists that were hired by the U.S. military. I think it was they said an entire, but not a battalion, but a very large number of artists were in this one military group um, who were tasked with designing fake vehicles. This is and inflatable vehicles, stuff like that. This is in World War II to distract and to create the illusion that we had troops in a different part of I think Germany. I think it was actually leading up to the Battle of Normandy, and it was the distraction. There's a whole documentary about the way they distracted and faked this giant military.
I
And
think I
so one of
just saw something recently about like Iran or Russia or something did something like that with like
well, oh
some
yeah,
unexploded jets or something, but it was actually just like paintings on the ground.
yeah, in Iran they had paintings on the ground. In Ukraine, there's a whole company that makes inflatable vehicles that they were putting out in the battlefield, and inflatable tank would cost like $200, and they'd shoot it down with $1 million missile, that kind of
Oh
thing,
yeah, hell
Sure.
blow it up.
yeah.
I mean,
That's
the distractions, right? Like, so when I was in France, I went to the World War II Museum, Cayenne Memorial Museum, and in there they kind of just talk about a lot of the advantages and disadvantages, etc. And one of the things that stuck out to me was the intimidation point, right? Because everybody knows like D-Day, right? It's 4:30 in the morning, planes are flying over and people are just jumping out of these planes, right? And what I found out was like they had uh uh like over, I want to say it was over like 10,000 fake parajumpers. They were just like dummies with parachutes and they were all just being dumped out. So it was like every fifth person in
during
that
like the
platoon.
D-Day that like we all know.
Yeah. So
No,
like you
that's
have all these parachutes. So like if you're down below looking up, like, oh my God, all these people are coming here. And you're just
Wow,
like trying to shoot them out. It's no different than, these aired up tanks and
wow,
wasting missiles and all that stuff, trying to
that's
destroy those things.
smart.
And so I thought that was really cool that that's what they did. It was just one thing that really stuck out to me. So
that's wild. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Man, it seems like the distractions and deceptions and stuff, you could literally fight your whole war just focusing on that stuff and make the enemy waste all of their weapons
all
and
their
resources.
resources,
Yeah,
waste the
and then they just have
resources.
nothing left, and you haven't killed a single one of them yet, but
Yeah.
they haven't done anything to you either. They've except wasted all their resources. Like, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's basically what Ukraine's doing. Like, because
So
I
what they
mean,
were doing early on, I think, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I think now they're able to hit inside Moscow.
Yeah, no,
They
they're
blew up
getting brutal now with it.
they hit a refinery that's 12 miles from the Kremlin,
Mm.
and apparently pretty accurately. They're building their own cruise missiles. I mean, Ukraine went from
Oh,
needing everyone else's support to building all this
to
stuff internally.
well, okay, so what about the kid who built a guided rocket that's, over the shoulder mounted and launchable out of 3D printed parts and it costs $96?
I saw that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that to me was just like, man, that's insane. Like that's gonna get you in trouble.
Yeah.
I
That
think
to me, right,
who was
taking
it?
it a little too far.
The Peter Streeple or whatever his name is on YouTube. I think he made one of the little shoulder mounted things with the wings that pop out, and
Saw that.
then you
Yeah.
could like aim it and stuff.
That might be him. Yeah, I mean, that's not
Hey, Mike,
exactly
sorry, go ahead.
good. No, I was going to say it's not rocket science, but it is actually rocket science, but it's not the kind of rocket science that you normally hear about rocket science. So yeah, yeah.
And
Right.
speaking of rockets, that's literally like one step past the gimbal controlled model rocket that I made. Literally, all I
Yeah.
had to do is make it RC.
And shoulder mounted, and that's it.
Yeah, and shoulder
It's
mounted.
that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So here it is. YouTuber builds functional missile launcher for under $100 and total cost everything $96. Like that's crazy to me. Let me
So I
see if I
read that
can't.
Ukraine can build
Oh,
13,000 drones a day.
Jesus.
wow.
And like just one drone will take out a whole tank too. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah, why not? I mean, think about the payload, right? So like even like so DJI, and I wonder if this is like kind of like that foreshadowing deal where DJI is their drones, which now they're kind of working some stuff out, but their drones aren't available. And I think America got ahead of themselves to like a point where it's like, hey, we don't want your drones here anymore. Cut it off 2026. And they did. And then they were like, oh, yeah, we'll just do the American thing and make our own. Well,
Yeah.
now it's, capitalism here. So we're all like, hey, we could charge thousands of dollars now, and you have a lot of people that use these drones. A lot of agricultural people use these drones, right? So it's like it's one of those things where like, so now they're backpedaling and trying to work things out. However, a lot of the like sponsorship, right, are these DJI drones is what they're using in this Ukraine war and stuff. And so it's like that's a lot of funding for them too. I'm trying to think here. Here we go. It won't. See, they took his video down of how he builds this 3D printed rocket, and other people saved it and they're reloading it up there. And
yeah, I
man,
purposefully did not put the 3D print files or the software or anything for my rocket online just because like the little documentary I
sure,
made about it about how I made it, that's probably enough information that I need to put out there about that.
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, it's like there's not really that much to steering a rocket. It's really not that much, but like no
But it's just
fucking
crazy because like
advances.
even now, like for the parts that you can just get on Amazon where it's heat seeking, that's not hard to do anymore.
Oh yeah.
It's
That's a
it's
great point.
just insane. It's not hard to do anymore. Thermal optics are more affordable now than ever. And if you're only trying to use it for, a destructive purpose like this, you don't even need it really as an optic. If you, I don't know. I mean, heck, you have adapters now for your phones that you just throw into your USB-C. And I know we covered this a couple episodes ago, but that you can just throw in there for under $100. Leave it to Vivor, right? Like for under $100, you can get it, and now you have a thermal image camera.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be too great. You just have to be like in your coding, go, hey, this
Yeah.
needs to be
Well,
here. Go to
that's
this
the most
point.
important
The
thing is the
hottest.
software. Like as long as the software is
Yeah.
good, you can basically use the crappiest off the shelf stuff
Yeah.
there is. Like
Agreed.
yeah, it's man, it's I hope they end this war soon, but it is wild seeing all the new technology coming from it. Like yeah.
Yeah, and see, like and then you got other people too. That I love and hate people at the same time because, like, right now there's like this drone race war going on where they're 3D printing these drones that they're making, and who knows that AI may just come in and go, "Hey, this is your design before, like, what can it do now?" And right now, I think the fastest like drone it's like over 300 miles per hour
Hmm. Man,
in one direction. I mean, that's insane too to think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. I think yeah, they just set that record like a month or two back.
Yeah.
And they had like
Yeah.
just set it a few months before that and then like redid
Yeah.
it again and yeah.
Yeah. And that's I don't know. Maybe if they got in touch with the other company that's building the rockets, out of the 3D printed rockets. Because like with that software, it does the same thing. It doesn't necessarily come up with the idea, but it goes, we'll trial and error it. Hey, this didn't work, or these places, this area, it faulted, it melted
Oh,
here,
you talking about
and it changes it.
Leap 76 or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 77 or 71, something like that.
Yeah, where they make
hmm,
the
Yeah.
they got the pulse not pulse jet
Well, yeah, well, yeah, it's not a pulse jet, but boy, it
Yeah,
sounds
no,
pretty close to it.
the one with the pointed nozzle. I can't ever.
Yeah,
Dang.
Leap 71 is who that is.
Yeah, yeah. They got the AI that designs the stuff, and then they 3D print it afterwards. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Their largest one is the Neuron TKL 5, right? Or something like that. Yeah. Either way, that was like the one that set it up for everybody or set it up for them, that got super popular because that's the one that everybody saw. There's a YouTuber that I follow, and that's how I ended up seeing it.
Hmm.
And it was really cool, just the way that just takes off and how it self cools, which is one of the best thing that you could think of because
Yeah.
how
Hey,
else,
can you bring up
you
a
know.
video of it real quick?
Yeah, let me see here. Leaves engine. Let's see here. Test.
Yeah, this will be like the rocket engines we'll be using in the future. Other than like nuclear engines, like this is the next step
Dum, dum. Give me a second here.
because you use the same exact nozzle from on land as you can use up in space. You use the same exact engine the whole way up.
Yeah.
Man, so uh, y'all seen For All Mankind, haven't you?
I'm not on the
Um,
last season yet.
It's 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 not as good as the previous ones. I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
Hmm. That's
But
unfortunate.
but what I'm thinking is like it seems like they're kind of making it out to be like a precursor to The Expanse
Oh yeah.
because it's starting to have that same exact feel as The Expanse. Just like 100, 200 years before, basically.
Oh, interesting.
let's see.
Yeah, this
Uh,
this
let's
rocket
see if I
engine right
can't.
here is so awesome.
Maybe hopefully I got sound thrown in there too. Let's see.
Hmm.
Huh. I love how like natural the tubes look on it and stuff
Right.
too.
I mean, that's just insane. Like that thing looks like it's going to be like a million miles an hour. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It's weird that it has that design on the outside though.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't,
li-
That's just
yeah,
what
like
it what the AI thought would be best,
I guess
apparently,
so.
after
Yeah.
like a
maybe
bunch of like
well,
iterative
think of it.
designing.
Maybe it's more of like not necessarily aerodynamic stuff, but as you would with a heat sink, right? Like this is how you would cool it. Everything's copper based,
It could be.
like
It would
yeah.
also be funny
It
if you
just
found out this was, you know, you ask it, build me an alien engine. And it's like, okay, here you go. Here's an alien. And it's like, how do you know this? Well, I was trained on a lot of government models. So,
Yeah. Yes, do tell us more.
ooh.
What government model what
Yeah.
government models can
So,
you show as an
so
example?
when
Hey,
when
there's probably
ChatGPT,
some little random hugging face model out there that you could just ask those questions, and it'll be like, okay, yeah, here's the actual answers. Don't
Right.
tell
well,
anyone.
I will
Yeah.
tell you this: when ChatGPT first started, one of the first things I asked it to do was build a particular piece of software that I'm still obsessed with, and I haven't come up with my own yet. So but I wanted to see what it could find, and it built a pretty good approximation of what I wanted, and but it included links to a GitHub repo. And I went and looked, and that repo didn't have that code. And so I wrote the guy, and I was like, look, ChatGPT just told me that it built this thing based on your code. And he said, that's weird. I never made that public. So that meant
Oh,
ChatGPT had access to
well,
the private repos.
yeah,
Mm.
that's fun.
Yeah,
That's fun. Yeah,
Surprise.
see, that's what I meant. Like
right.
people, ever since I started programming, like, and I tell people, like, no, I just save stuff on my computer. I don't use GitHub. Like, they're like, what? You don't use GitHub? You're not even a real programmer. Blah 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 blah. It's like, see, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
dude, I'll put my open source stuff up on GitHub, but like,
That I think that's one
my
of my
projects
biggest
that I'm working
fears.
on, they stay on my computer.
Yeah, like that's one of my biggest fears is like, using these open source AIs is like, oh yeah, help me do this or do that or blah blah blah. And let's say it takes off, right? It's the latest, greatest, best invention that you could ever fucking think of. And then you turn around and it's like, oh, wait, you used, I don't know, you use Chat GPT. Well, if you use Chat GPT or Copilot, well, then, now they own a portion of it because without our stuff, you wouldn't be where you're at kind of deal. And that's
And
that's
Right.
one of my biggest fears.
that's one good reason about using APIs for these AIs, though, is because all the API interaction stuff, you own that completely. So,
Okay.
like, they don't have access to any of that, supposedly. So,
Supposedly, right.
yeah. So, but yeah, we are basically out of time,
All
and
right.
I am super hot in this shed. So,
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
man.
yeah, this is a good episode, guys. This is fun.
Thanks,
Yes.
guys. Yeah. Awesome.
See
All
y'all.
right.
I
See
guess
you later.
this weekend. Yeah.
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 Or
Sunday. Yep.
cool. All right. Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Thank you.
See you.